have a strong, collected political voice, money is where it matters, and it is the conservative ideal of being able to keep the fruits of your labor. If that isn't a message for especially the African American community of not being answerable to someone, it's only right now the conservative ideal that delivers that.
You're absolutely right. But see, what is happening is, people are into creating victims. And when you create victims, they have to be dependent upon something. That something becomes government. And in doing so, government continues to grow, and it becomes a power struggle where government has this collectivism ideal where it's not empowering the individual, it's enslaving the individual. And that's why I stress individual responsibility and accountability is one of the key cultural obstacles that we have to get beyond. And it does affect your liberty. And I think that the people that you talked about, being the minority community, the gay and lesbian community, the Democrats, the liberal progressive ideal is to make you seem as you're a victim and you're being kept down, and you need us to try to elevate you when just get out of the way and allow us to have the rights that are guaranteed to us in the Constitution, and we can take care of our own lives and we can set our own course. And that's the critical aspect. And that's what we have to be careful of with this very, progressive, socialist, Marxist theme that's coming out of Washington, D.C.
It ruins lives. It ruins people's lives. And actually, there's a lot of people in the chat room wanting to know, especially they loved your commentary about taxes and the nature of the economy. Do you support a flat tax or
Yes.
a fair tax? What tax system do you support?
Well, it's not about what tax system do you support. I see them as being complementary. I see right now we got to get more people with skin in the game. So I think you should go to a flat tax, 13% across the board, everyone that is out there earning income, and there are no exemptions, deductions, or whatever. We need to simplify this thing. And also, when you look at the corporate business tax rate, 33 to 35%, you need to cut that in half and flatten it as well so we can, once again, create jobs. I think that the flat tax, if you want to get to it, that is a phasing or a bridging mechanism to get to a fair tax, a consumption tax, which, of course, is the most fair. But, you can't just jump right out and get rid of the IRS, repeal the 16th Amendment. And I think that the flat tax helps you to get more people into this thing called, the taxation. And there are things that I have to pay for as an American citizen. I have no problems with that. But I don't want to see it being used as a tool for class warfare. And I think that when you look at capital gains tax, dividend tax, estate tax, those need to be eliminated. You look at payroll taxes. You want to stimulate an economy. Suspend payroll taxes until we get the right type of economic indicators. So those are the type of things that empower the individuals. It empowers the private sector, our small businesses, so that the economy can grow. Japan tried 9 stimulus packages, Tammy. Didn't work too well for them.
No. And, I have a feeling, I don't know, your wife is a busy woman. You're a family man. How do they feel? You were serving all around the world, and their lives were very, very different. Now you're home, and you are having certainly a lot of notoriety. How is your family adjusting to this, and how is your wife feeling about the nature of your changing family life?
Well, the thing is, the fact I'm home. I'm not thousands and thousands of miles away. That makes a difference. And they understand who I am as a soldier, as a servant of this great republic, and that I took off the boots and the fatigues and I put on a suit and tie, and I continue to see what I can do to secure the future and the legacy of this great America for them, my children, and also for other grandchildren and children of my friends and Americans all over the place. And they see the threats to this country, and so they are very interested in their dad going out there and continue to be a fighter for the principles and values that make this country what it is.
Well, you are, sir, I must say, when I first noticed you, obviously those few years ago, your approach and style is exactly what the founders had in mind. It is exactly what Americans now have in mind after we got maybe a little too romantic in 2008. And we realize why the founders did what they did and why Americans gave Ronald Reagan 49 of our 50 states in '84. These kinds of policies appeal to everyone. And when it comes down to who your heroes are, I've noted, of course, Sarah Palin has endorsed you, our hero, over at my show and the blog, of course, is Reagan, as you can tell. When you think of greatness, military or politically, who are your heroes? Who do you look to?
Well, first and foremost, my heroes are my mother and father, because I would not have gotten out of inner city Atlanta, Georgia, if they had not raised me properly and instilled in me, this love of God and country and the principles that have enabled me to take advantage of all the great opportunities this country affords me. But when I look back through history, if you look at people like Alexander the Great, I look at people like Lincoln, I look at Reagan. Principled men that took a stand and were willing to lose their lives in the process of that. So Martin Luther King definitely figures into that. So those are the type of people that I have looked to in my life, and I just continue to press on for this country.
And one of the harder questions from the chat room, I guess you need to answer: cats or dogs? I don't know how you're going to answer that one.
We have two dogs. We have a Yorkshire Terrier, which my daughters, they take care of him, and then I have a golden retriever whose name is Peanut, and that's my buddy.
That is absolutely perfect. And you're going around now. I hope that the Palin endorsement came with some money. We talked about your money bomb yesterday. We've posted up where people can go for that. What do you want for everyone listening? And we'll have the podcast will be distributed as well. What do you want Americans to do now? What can they do to get you into Washington for a victory in Washington in November? What can they do?
Absolutely. You go to our website, which is www.gowest2010.com, and share our message of our website. You go to YouTube. We have many different videos there. Share our videos all around, and continue to contribute, donate to our campaign. The FEC report numbers from January through March were released, and we raised in those 3 months about $840,000. So
Beautiful.
A lot of people are paying attention to our message, and I just want to thank each and every one of all the people that are listening, and just God bless you, Tammy, because you've been such a great supporter.
Well, I'm broadcasting today from my home. You hear my dog named Sydney as saying hello back at you. But I have to say, of all the people that I've dealt with, and I've been in some level of politics most of my adult life, when I've come under fire, as most of us have over the last few years, there's been usually the first person who has emailed or called has been you in offering support. And I just have to say that when it comes, when things are difficult, when our feet are to the fire, when we're under attack, as clearly your commitment as a military man, the way your parents raised you, your loyalty, your commitment to what's right, has always given me hope for the future, and it is an honor that to speak with you, Alan, and it is an honor and a thrill that you are willing to continue to serve our country, and I appreciate you joining me today, sir.
Absolutely, thank you. Don't be a stranger, Tammy, and like I said, God bless you, God bless America, and all the people out there in your listening audience.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, and luck serves the well-prepared, but we're with you, sir, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. As I've told you, now I think it becomes rather apparent that he is the epitome of the nature, the kind of individual that this nation produces. It wasn't a fluke that we've produced them in the past. It wasn't some weird difference in how we were raising people. Heroes are still out there. We are, of course, just regular people, and we'll always make mistakes, but ultimately it has been a very long time when we've heard politicians speak of statesmanship and loyalty and loving this nation and being committed, having a remarkable family of accomplishment as well, realizing what the founders wanted and needed, and looking not at Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, but looking at the Federalist Papers.